Hey there, I'm Scott Welsh. Welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk about the mysterious, wonderful, and profitable nature of counter trend trading. Let's get right to it. Three things. Of course, I am on Facebook Business now at Scott Welsh Strategies. If you ever want to go there, great. Three things we're going to talk about today. One, the definition of counter trend itself. People get pretty emotional, in my experience, talking about counter trend trading because there are a lot of strong opinions about it. But sometimes it's a silly argument because what is counter trend in the first place, right? So we're going to define that real quick so we can have an honest discussion. We're going to talk about the power of counter trend trading. What's so great about it? Why do we like it? Well, there is a reason to like it. We'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about a counter trend system that uses pivot points, okay? And of course, there's a robot available. I normally just try to give you info and have a nice conversation, but sometimes there'll be systems that I actually trade, and there's a robot for that. There's an app for that, and you can obviously buy that if you want. Okay, there, I said it. Disclaimer, please do not risk money you cannot afford to lose, and these are hypothetical numbers. They're not from my real trading account, but I try to give an honest depiction, as you know. All right, let's define counter trend. It's tricky and sometimes stupid to have the conversation because you can get into an argument and we're not even talking about the same thing, okay? For example, is a pullback a trend move going with the trend on a pullback, or is it counter trend? Well, if it pulled back, the trend is down. So I'm not trading with the trend if I'm trading on a pullback. Well, wait, I filtered it out. I think the trend is up. I'm just getting a better price. So it's a trend trade. No, it's a counter trend. You see what I'm saying, right? It's tricky, but there is one way to get around that silly discussion. That is counter trend specifically can be linked to something like value investing. That is clearly counter the trend because, as Warren Buffett says, it buys when others are fearful. It buys when others are selling. So if you're buying when the market's going down, that is clearly against the trend, right? So for me, when I talk counter trend, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a small pullback when the price is up 50% and it pulls back 2%. To me, that's not counter trend. That's going with the trend on a pullback. Are we clear? Now, as you may or may not know, I started with counter trend trading. I started with value investing. That's what got me into trading, Warren Buffett, and trading like that. So I am partial to counter trend trading, just so you know, full disclosure, okay? The most money I've ever made is counter trend trading, but most of my money is traded not on a specific counter trend trading system, at least up to right now. See, there's kind of a misnomer there, whatever. It's important for you to know that I love counter trend trading if we can make it work, okay? Keep in mind, though, that the testing has shown counter trend trading to be not that great. That's why I've switched, okay? When you buy when others are fearful, that is its own animal. It is a completely different way to trade. Why? Because counter trend moves are sudden, they are violent, and they are frustrating. You will see price go down, for example, in the stock market last December, down, 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 and all the doomsday people come out, and then all of a sudden it rockets right back, like within a month. January was amazing if you're a long trader. Just recently, as I sit here in May 2019, we've had a pullback. The doomsday people came out again, and it snapped right back. When it turns, it is violent. When you see a big fall, there is a violent and sudden, quick, sudden, violent, like that's the nature of this type of trading. Hard to make a living day trading doing this particular style. Can be done. There are tons of great winners out there. Don't get me wrong, but it's frustrating because I just want to go along with the trend, go along with the trend, nice, easy. I'm not asking a lot. And then counter trend whoop, goes the other way, stops you out, big stop out. And that's frustrating, okay? But again, just look at March 2009. The world was ending from September 2008 to March 2009, and then look at a chart. Probably the biggest move I've seen. Maybe Bitcoin is bigger, but you know, see what I mean? But like I said, it's very inconsistent when you try to put a fully automated system on it. You get a lot of losing, a lot of spin outs, you get bigger drawdowns, you get great wins, and you get winning streaks, but it's not as consistent as going with trend. It's more consistent day trading, consistency-wise, being a trend trader. It's not to say it's not powerful. Have I made that point yet? It can be so walloping. Bam, you think things are going poorly, and then bam, humongous winners. Now, combining all this information, if you just don't ask for too much, if you take the concept and just ask for a little bit of value back on the way to fair value, it's possible then, I'm finding as I research this, to be consistent with a counter trend system. Okay? Now, way back in 2010, when I was discretionary trader still, we won every series of trades for 3 months. We traded a counter trend system. We waited for a drop and then bet it on its way back to fair value. So there was some consistency because we only asked for a small profit. But of course, our trade size was too large and we had to stop, or else we would have eventually probably, most likely, have lost our entire account. However, for that 3-month period, never made more money than I did in my life. You know, $50,000. It was a lot of money, especially for the account size we were trading, right? It's 50% or something return in whatever, 3 months, okay? So I tell you all this, maybe you don't care. I love to give background before I get to systems. That might make you angry, but at least I want you to know where I'm coming from, okay? Counter trend trading is tough, all right. But if we're gonna have a system, here's are the steps. Number one, we have to have something to trade to. We're buying when others are fearful, and we're confident that it is 50% off. We're confident that the price, if we're going long, is up high. We have to be confident of this. Otherwise, what are we trading to, right? So we need a fair value number to trade to. Then we need price to go far, far away from that. And then look at the confidence. I mean, this is Warren Buffett. Buy a great company at a cheap price. The company's worth $1 billion. Market value drops down to 10 million or something crazy like that. Somewhere along the way, it's going to be higher than what it is today. Okay. Now, we can use Bollinger Bands. I've done that. Wait for price to move away from the midline of the band, and trade it back to the midline. That works. Fundamental analysis. I've done that in discretionary trading. Wait for it to get 50% off. Do your fundamental analysis, get your spreadsheets. Oh, stock is worth 100. I'll wait till it gets to 50. Surely I'm going to make money on the way back up. You can use a moving average, which I love. A long-term moving average gives you fair value of that instrument. Once again, price moves far away from that moving average, buy it, right? Or sell it and wait for it to get back to normal. But this system uses weekly pivots, pivot points formed on a weekly basis. Take the high, the low, the close of last week, divide by 3, and we get a nice middle fair line. This is what price should be without the noise. It went high, it went low, and it settled here. Let's get a nice normal number. That's what weekly pivots are. They're static, they stay there, they never move. And if price gets far away from what it's supposed to be, we can set up a trade counter trend to what's happening, but on the way back to fair value. Now, to make this consistent, go for a small target, right? We know is Forex, let's say it's 200 pips away or 100 pips away from fair value. Let's go for 10, 20, 30. Let's go for something small. We'll get that snapback. We won't be greedy. And let's see if we can take this concept, that's powerful concept, and make it profitable, okay? If it's worth $10, surely we can get $2 out of it, for example, right? Okay, here is the system, right? And then we'll wrap it up. I mean, this is it. On MT4, I have an indicator that's free that sets up the weekly pivots for me, right? But you can draw them on your own chart. I used to do that by hand. You would just take for this week, this previous week right here, take the high, take the low, and the close, wherever that is, divide by 3, and then draw that line. And that's the line for the whole week, right? If price moves a certain amount of pips away without touching, because guess what? Price touches the weekly pivot all the time. What does all the time mean? 70% or higher in some cases, right? It almost always touches the weekly pivot level sometime during the week. Look at this chart. This is from 2019. It touched it during the week. It touched it during the week. It touched it during the week. See what I'm saying? Price moves back. And look at the snapback, by the way. Look at the trend. And then it snaps back to fair value. This is a universal concept that hopefully we can use to make some money. So on this particular system, on the pound Swiss, which is a pretty volatile instrument, I admit, but I tested it on it. If it goes 114 pips away without hitting fair value yet, right? Tension is building up. Relaxes down to fair value. Good. Things are back to normal. Now we can start a new trend. I found, testing has shown, once it gets back to fair value, it can do anything it wants to do. So here's our system. 114 pips away, no touch. We just traded for a take profit of 20 pips, which you see right there. The robot takes it automatically as soon as it gets 114 away, and we go for 20. And that's it, right? What kind of a stop loss? 110 pips. We give it tons of room. We want this concept to not be interrupted. We want to give it room to get back to fair value. And you can see this one needed no room at all. It immediately snapped back, okay? If it touches it early on, we just ignore it. Like here, no trade that week. And you know what's even crazier? We're just looking at the beginning of the week, Sunday and Monday. We're not even worrying about the rest of the week. Do I have robots that trade the whole week? Yes. Is that this one? No. This one only looks at Sunday and Monday, figuring if it's going to happen early. And that's it, right? Robot just automatically enters. You could manually draw a line as soon as this is formed, draw a line and put in an order. Oh, I got it. Put in another stop. Put in another order for a target. And there you go. And this would be really easy to trade manually. I don't trade manually, but it's easy. I've done it manually. It's not a big deal. Okay, that's it. That's the system. Pretty easy. How has it done over the past several years since 2003? There's your profit, 40,746. Trading just one lot each, I believe. It's either one lot or 0.75. I apologize. Oops. I apologize, but there it is. I believe it's one lot. You can always email me and ask me. Doesn't really matter that much. But anyway, made 40,746. The maximum drawdown was 6,200-ish, which is a very small number. It's done well in 2019. I believe it was a losing year in 2018. Not a bad loss, but it did lose some. So take that for what it's worth. But this is a very, very interesting discussion to start, right? We've got good numbers long term. We've got a nice win percentage, both short and long. We'd have to commit to this long term, but especially in markets that are reverting, that can't decide what they want to do, this one would make tons and tons of money. And of course, that's what it does in certain market environments. All right, that's the system. I also covered it in the newsletter, but I didn't show any trades. I wanted to show the trades and talk more about it in the video today. All right, if you have any questions, of course, you can email me, but here's the bottom line. We made that much profit. There's your drawdown. There's your win rate. Pretty nice, right? The ratio looks good. Profit to drawdown. The winning percentage looks even better, right? Yes, stop outs would stink, but we're going to make a lot of money because we didn't ask for a lot. This is clearly a counter trend system, and it appears to be fairly consistent. So for me, when I talk counter trend trading, this is what we're talking about. Again, it only trades Sunday and Monday, which is nice. I mean, you don't have to trade the rest of the week. You can trade another system or just take the rest of the week off. And again, this is a robot form, but you could do it manually if you like. All right, we'll talk more about this. Like I said, I have much testing on this particular style of trading. I am becoming very interested in this. Oh, and by the way, I am trading this live. I just started at a very small trade size, so I am messing around with this live too. Okay, just full disclosure. You know I like to disclose full. All right, that's all for this week. Lifetime memberships are back. Regular memberships are also available. Become a member there. Join the newsletter. Can't wait to talk to you again next week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to it. Bye for now.